What up, brothers? It's Clipper King back with another review, or a double review, which I've been promising for quite a while, but like I said in the last few videos, I'm throwing these videos at you thick and fast. I hope you're drinking them in. I hope you're enjoying them. I do notice, I will say this, when I do throw up a lot of videos all at once in space of a week, and bearing in mind that each review's got 2 or 3 parts to it, I know people don't catch everything. I just hope they come back and see what they've been missing and let me know the thoughts on the reviews. But like I said from the start, I'm going to do a double review on these two guys. As you can see, it's the G.I. Joe Retaliation figures, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. So let's get these bitches rotating while I tell you my thoughts on them. Firstly, why did I buy them? Well, quite simple. I'd not seen the film, but I'd seen the figures on eBay and in a couple of reviews and just around the place basically, and I thought I need to get some ninja action in this collection. I've not really done it before. I know Morris loves himself some martial arts, kung fu, ninja action, and I thought fuck it, Clipper needs a bit of that in his life, and I thought these were as good a place to start as any. I saw all the things that they brought with them and I saw the prices, and I thought just because they're not Iron Man or Dark Knight or Avengers stuff, the price is really low, and I thought fuck it, why not get it? Why not get it, review them, move them on if I don't like them, keep them if I do. So I shopped around. I asked actually through Facebook, should I buy this or should I buy the battle damaged Entebbe 1/4 scale Terminator? Most people said the Terminator, but what happened is somebody saw me post, a friend of mine, an American friend. I'm not going to name him because he don't want to be named, which is strange because normally people do want to be named, but he didn't. He'd got a store in America. He did me a really good price on these. I will cover that in the value. I says, oh, that's good of you to do me for that price. Do you want me to sort of link it to you on Facebook and shout you out in the video? He says, no. He says, thanks for the thought. He said, but I'd sooner you didn't. I don't know why. I ain't got a fucking clue. Might hate Clipper King deep down, I don't know. Or he might be aligned with somebody else who reviews. I ain't got a clue. But I will say massive thanks. He knows who he is. Massive thanks to him, because he got me a really good price on these two figures. And probably the reason he didn't want me to shout him out, because he'd have everybody jumping on his site or on his Facebook page saying, can you do me same deal? So I'm not going to name him out of respect for him. So yeah, they came. I've had them a couple of weeks, just basically had them posed like that. And like I said, I had a bit of a queue of stuff to do, and it sort of kept getting pushed back and back, because I know this one, it might take some time, because between each cut I want to repose both figures. I want to cover all the things that I would want to know if I were watching a review. And yeah, I want to sort of at least get a couple of poses out of them where people are saying, fucking hell, did you see Clipper King's latest joint? See that pose he got out of Snake Eyes, fucking combined with Storm Shadow? I fucking love me a bit of that. And that's what I'm going to aim for. So I don't just want to rush your 5 poses off from each figure and then be shit. I want to do something a little bit special. So that's what I intend to do. Just talk a little bit about the figures. As you can see, just upright pose at minutes. I've got them back to back, rotating. So you can see the back of them. You see the other one coming round. See, he's got his 2 knives, fucking swords, sorry. Snake Eyes, he's just got his one for now. The other one on his back. Just looking fresh as fuck. It's got rotating nicely. Nice and symmetrical, and then you can see the boxes in at back. So, let's roll on with review. I've talked for 4 minutes and I haven't fucking scored up one category. I'm going to start off with the source material and say, whenever I get a figure, whether it's I'm buying it on the strength of the film or whatever, I'll go back and I'll watch the film just so I can do the source material and not be talking total bullshit. I've dropped a few bollocks in past when I said the figure comes from a certain scene and it doesn't or whatever, but I get confused. It doesn't happen a lot, but there's certain things in my mind is one thing, I say it, and then you get about 20 people correcting you in your YouTube comments. So I do try and watch the film anyway. So I downloaded this film a couple of weeks ago, knowing these figures were coming, and I sat at work on a Saturday. Saturday for us is dead as fuck, so it basically means I can take my laptop to work and watch anything I've downloaded. So I sat down and I watched this. I will say firstly, I watched the first G.I. Joe film as well. I forgot what it's called, Rise of Cobra, I think. And I thought it was fucking dreadful. I got about halfway through it and I thought, I can't watch this no more. I don't know, it just fucked me off. They were not really happening. The story was shit. That fucking, which one of Wayne's brothers were in it? One of them were in it. And I just can't take a film seriously. Once you've appeared in a film like White Chicks, you can't do a fucking action film, I don't think. So I couldn't be dealing with him, and like I said, the story about them nanomites and all that, I thought, fuck this bollocks, turned it off. Which stopped me wanting to watch this. One thing probably drew me to it would probably be The Rock. I don't mind The Rock, although I prefer him wrestling as acting. But I thought, nah, I might watch it, I don't know. But then when I ordered these figures, I thought, fuck it, download it and watch it. If no else, it'll kill 2 hours at work. So I sat and watched it, and I've got to be honest, I didn't fucking hate it. I expected to, but I didn't. And I thought as well, credit where credit's due, there were a couple of sequences in the film which I think, had they been in a Marvel film or a Batman film, people would have been fucking jumping for joy. The scene on the side of the mountain where they sort of kidnap or break Storm Shadow out and he's in that bag, and Snake Eyes and that woman ninja on that cliffside. I think it's a fucking awesome shot. I think it's a really good idea. It's not like anything I've seen, and I think credit where it's due. And there were a couple other scenes. Only thing that fucking killed it was me with typical gung-ho American bullshit and military hoo-ah and all that bollocks. It just fucking drives me mental. I don't know, I do like a lot, I've got a lot of American friends, but I don't know, just that fucking overzealous flag waving just brings me down. I don't know, I wish they could see problems in their country like most of the rest of the world see in their own. So I don't know, that's what killed the film for me a little bit. But like I say, I don't want to make no enemies saying that, but fuck it, I'm going to be honest. So yeah, I didn't like that about it. But like I say, it weren't dreadful, but I don't know if I'd sit and watch it again. There's probably bits I'd watch if it were on Sky or something like that. But I don't know if I'd sit down and watch the film again. So I'm going to give it, or give both figures, possibly a generous 3 out of 5. Like I said, it was definitely watchable, but you're not going to be running to your fucking mates at work. Say, oh, get you send that download, you're fucking amazing. Or trot out and buy Blu-ray. It's not that kind of vibe, but it weren't dreadful. So like I said, I'll give them both figures a 3 out of 5. I will say as well, I'll make another point. I know these do come from the G.I. Joe Retaliation film, but what I have also taken into account, when I bought these, a little bit of nostalgia, because I'm 38 now, so mid-80s, I was like 10, 11, 12 sort of thing, and I can remember these coming out, the 3.5-inch figures, and they weren't called G.I. Joes in England, they were called Action Force, and I went on a club trip. I'm sure you kids, you particularly northerners, I would think, used to go on your club trip. Your local working men's club used to do a club trip, and it'd either to Blackpool or Skeggy most years, and you go on your fucking coach and you get a little pouch with some money in where your mum and dad have been paying subs all year. And this particular year we went to Bridlington and I bought Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe in the 3.5-inch figure, and I fucking loved them. So when I saw these, I thought, fucking hell, these have come a long way since the last set of G.I. Joes I bought, or Action Force, like I said. So I did take that into account as well with the source material. I don't know, they were just really good toys, because you got like a lot of accessories, and like I said, I was feeling that ninja vibe back in the 80s, which like I said, it just rekindled something when I saw these figures coming out. But like I said, it doesn't change the fact that on the source material, I've given them a 3 out of 5. Rolling on to packaging, and I want to cover this briefly because there's not a lot to see. Just a normal slipcover box. The only difference basically is the artwork. The size is the same. The sort of wording on the top's the same. Neither has a picture on the back. No, the side sort of wraps around, but it's not no thrill sort of thing. I do like the artwork, I will say. They do complement each other really nice. Got the chromed lettering on both, and obviously the symbols down at bottom. Hot Toys Movie Masterpiece, Paramount, obviously the film company that's done the film, and Hasbro, which owns the toy license on these. Same on the Storm Shadow one. Like I said, I only want to cover them briefly because most people don't particularly want to know. One other thing that might be of interest if you are a box collector is if you look at the clam inside, Snake Eyes, it's black. Look at the clam inside there, it's white. So just a sort of theme. I know it's nothing of interest and I only wanted to spend about a minute talking about it. Slip covers are slip covers to me. As long as they house the stuff nicely, then that's good enough. They've not pushed the boat out, not give us nothing that we haven't seen before. So I'm only going to give the packaging a 3 out of 5. Record time. Moving on to the facial likeness. And obviously, as you can see, only one of them has a face, so to speak. But I am going to cover Snake Eyes as well. The fact that he wears an helmet, to what I like and dislike about it. And then obviously Storm Shadow's head sculpt, and also I'll do his masked head sculpt as well and score it up. Before we do, let's just start thinking about the pose. As you can see, it stands and balanced out. I do use the stands most of the time. I know some people don't, but I do because I just won't want to risk something falling and a sword snapping or whatever. We basically got him both blades out, swaying round, moving from right to left. Still got his eye on Snake Eyes. So I've got his hand up as if to defend, and his sword sort of in his backhand. Again, he's rotating, coming round with the right leg and balance himself with the left. Yeah, sort of fight interlude. I needed to get a pose where I could sort of get round the heads without the arms or swords in way. But I do like that, particularly like Storm Shadow there. I like the double look with the 2 swords he has. So firstly, let's cover Snake Eyes. Obviously, he doesn't take the helmet off, or mask, whatever you want to call it, with the visor. I call it an helmet because it does come across as really, really hard, and like no indentation where his face is pressing against it. And if you look at the mouth section, sort of looks like he's got breathing holes. It is different colours and textures on this mask. You don't really realise in pictures unless it's a really good quality picture. But I'm trying to pick it up for you. It is well done, although one thing I kind of dislike it. It looks a tiny bit, I'm talking millimetres, too big. Just a bit too bulbous or light bulb headed. So that's one thing. I know if his head were really inside it, the helmet would need to be that size. But I don't know. Sometimes in a certain pose, it looks like a great fucking balloon head. But yeah, it's just how it is, I guess. But like I said, they've done it well. They've captured the movie well. You can't get... I don't know, I can't really fucking score it that high because it's not an head sculpt as such. It needs to look accurate. It does to me. But like I said, without a changeable head or anything else, you've just sort of... You've got that. Which, like I say, a Snake Eyes enthusiast would probably say that looks really accurate, or a massive fan of the film. Like I said, but to me... It's slightly different to scoring up the Storm Shadow figure. I'm still going to give it a 4, although it's not a face as such, but it does look like the character, and I'm sure the proportions are right, but to me it just looks a tiny bit balloon headed. But does look well with the outfit. Moving on to Storm Shadow, and obviously you get the unmasked head, which is a dead ringer for the actor. I don't know the actor's name. I should have really looked before I started filming, but I didn't, and I probably couldn't have pronounced it anyway. But yeah, from every angle, it's bang on. The hair sculpt is really good. It's got that... I was going to actually swap that head onto Storm Shadow, just show it, onto Snake Eyes, show it would fit, because there is a section of the film where he's dressed as Snake Eyes. So I was going to do that, but I thought, no, I'll stick with how it is, sort of thing, so it's not confusing on the scores. So yeah, I think it comes actually wearing this head as well in the box. And like I said, you can't fault that. The paint job is awesome. It is accurate. And just captured the tone really well. Another thing I like, just moving on to the second sculpt, which is the masked head sculpt. I think from the eyes alone, you can still tell it's the same actor inside. Does swap on and off really nice, and I do like all these seams, and like his outfit's not all white, it's highlighted with like a metallic silver look, and as you can see, that has it as well. It's like a breathable material there, so it does look good. Again, another nice sculpt. Stroke of genius with it, where they didn't just sculpt it and expect us to believe it. The mask section, as you can see, it moves about, so you can pull it flush, and you can see there is a sculpted mouth and nose section under here. Look, I'm trying to pull it really close so you can see. But yeah, I think it looks really nice, and they've captured it well from the movie. So well done, Hot Toys, geese, and a pat on back. And even down the neck, it does look like a mask that's ruffled up. Would have been a good idea actually for them to do something like this with the Spider-Man head, so it would have popped out easier, and it would have articulated a bit better than what they ended up giving us, particularly on the red and blue version. But yeah, good work, Hot Toys, on both the Storm Shadow heads. So I am going to give that, I'll give that a 5. If I've given Snake Eyes a 4 just for a masked or helmeted head with a visor, then I've got to give Storm Shadow a 5 for them too, because they both look really good, and I don't have a preference either which I pose it with, because they're both that good. So yeah, pretty easy score. Hope you like that pose. Getting more action packed, and we'll get more and more, so stick with me.